Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia is a busy man these days. India's major airports are clogged with hundreds of passengers who are complaining of mismanagement. Many of them have missed their flights because of the rush. Now, initially, all the problems were being reported in T3, that's Terminal 3 of the Delhi airport. But now, Bangalore is reporting the same thing. It is the third busiest airport in this country with a footfall of more than 1.6 crore passengers every year. But even Bangalore is unable to handle the holiday rush that it is seeing. Long queues have been reported at the departure halls, after which the airport operators released a statement. They hinted at a possible shortage of CISF staff at security counters. Let me quote that statement to you so that you don't accuse us of misreporting. They said, "We are closely coordinating with immigration and CISF officials to ensure they are doing their best in deploying adequate staff." So yesterday, the Civil Aviation Ministry essentially had blamed the airlines. Today, the airport managers are pointing at the government. And amidst this back and forth, the Aviation Minister has spoken to Times Network. It was his first interview after all this chaos at the Delhi and Mumbai and now Bangalore airport. Mr. Scindia spoke exhaustively about what he's doing to ease the bottlenecks. But two of his claims really arose our interest. So we decided to put his statement to test. Before that, listen in to what the minister has said.
India has never experienced the kind of volume that we are experiencing in this week. So where on the one hand it is gives a great deal of satisfaction that civil aviation has emerged from its nadir during COVID to a new high. That also presents its own issues in terms of capacity. And that is what we are experiencing today. There is no shortage of CISF personnel at DIAL, at T3. And in the meeting I had on the 12th, the DG of CISF was there with me. His whole crew was there with me, as well as all from top to bottom, the whole management of DIAL. And I very clearly asked a question. Tell me if there's shortage on the domestic side today. We have increased capacity, as I mentioned to you, from 13 lines to 17 lines today. Manning those 4 lines is not an issue. The CISF personnel, additional people have been given.
Now, Mr. Scindia says this rush is unprecedented, that India has never seen this level of air traffic before. Let's quickly put that claim to test. On December 11th, India logged 428,000 passengers across airports. Technically, yes, that is a new record. The previous peak was 420,000 passengers before the COVID lockdowns. If you do the maths, the difference is just 8,000 passengers. So is the minister really saying that all this chaos resulted from 8,000 extra passengers spread across more than 100 airports? That's barely 58 extra people in every airport. Not enough to create the sort of congestion that we have seen in Mumbai and Delhi and now Bangalore. The fact is, this rush was always going to happen after the lockdowns ended. The government and the airlines were simply not ready for it. They knew what was coming, they were not ready for it. Now let's focus on the minister's second claim. He said there was absolutely no shortage of security officials at any airport. If that was the case, Mr. Minister, why were additional officers deployed after the outrage on social media? Why would you add more officers if there was no shortage in the first place? Also, there are reports that CISF officers have not received their weekly offs for the last 2 months. Their holidays have been cancelled and that they are working non-stop to keep the airport running. Again, if there was no shortage, as the minister says, why are CISF officers not getting holidays? Did the CISF top brass actually mislead the minister? Or was it a simply case of false claim by Mr. Scindia? Something for you to think about as we shift our focus